Alright, so welcome back guys, and it's your first time here. I'm Vision here, born entertainment guys in our video. Taking on our video regarding the Power Rangers Reboot series. Now, Power Rangers Soldier isn't over there. Hit subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon. This is more Power Rangers content from me. Moving forward. Now, let's begin. Now, this past weekend was SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con. Now, Power Rangers did have a bit more of a presence this year in regards to comics and toys. Nothing on the TV front, of course, because of, this show being on hiatus. They're not adapting Sentai anymore. Some of the old actors were there, though. They did have a kind of like a meet and greet or whatever. And Dan from the Legacy of Nerd actually attended this event where he got to talk to some Hasbro, I would guess you would call them execs or higher-ups. And he asked them about the Power Rangers Reboot series. Now, from what is being reported from him, so, take it with a grain of salt. I always say that regarding this reboot series until we get actual, confirmation from the showrunners and Hasbro. But from what he is reporting, they said that the show is still in active development. So, active development, they're still developing it. However, it has not been greenlit. Now, what does that mean? So, they are still, working on development. Most likely writing scripts, and all that kind of stuff, figuring out who they're going to have as writers, directors, producers, all that kind of stuff. They're pretty much hiring those people, casting right now. And then once it gets greenlit, that's when they go into actually building sets, going out to film, and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is a very interesting aspect because from what we had heard in the past few months was, they're going to begin filming in January 2026. Then it was pushed back till March or April. Then it was set to begin this summer. And now we are learning that it hasn't even been greenlit to start any kind of production. So, what does this mean? I think it still means that it's still going on. I don't think that it's been canceled yet. People are talking about, well, if we don't get anything by D23, then it is 100% canceled. No, that is not fully what it means. Also, D23, they don't always talk about everything coming out in 2026 or of that year. They will talk about some things coming out in 2027. However, if this isn't done in pre-production or greenlit yet, I don't believe it'll come out by 2027, so I don't think they'll talk about it. At earliest, at this point, I would say 2028, and that's even kind of being generous right there. So, I don't think we'll get any news at SDCC, at D23, just because it's less than a month away right now, and unless by some miracle it is greenlit, and, they show up with a title name and, maybe a release date, maybe we'll get something. At most, I would say, if anything, we get a title reveal. And that's it. I do not think we'll get cast. I do not think we'll get a release date. Now, original rumors had the release date being in September of 2027. If it hasn't even been greenlit, I do not see that being the correct date. Unless they really get filming by the end of this year, beginning next year, and it's only a few episodes first season on Disney Plus, then maybe I could see them getting something done by August or by September 2027. And honestly, it kind of could work because then you have SDCC where they release a bunch of trailers next year. And one could be one for the reboot series. Am I saying that's going to happen? No. I do think it could be possible. I'm not 100% sure it will. But we'll just have to wait and see. But, it is somewhat good news. We can only hope that it gets greenlit. I think if we don't hear any news by the end of the year that it's greenlit, that's when we start worrying. If we haven't heard anything by 2027 about it being greenlit, then yes, then I will start worrying because, we've had these delays, we had these backups. So, if we don't hear anything by the end of the year, then I think it's time to reevaluate and see if this actually is happening. However, I still do have hope for this. I do think it will happen. And I think that we just got to be optimistic. And like I've said with many things, we are not used to PR being on this high profile. I have followed a bunch of things regarding Marvel over the years, and they go on with months in regards to rumors about casting. We only began hearing rumors about casting Like, I feel it was like back a few months ago, but these castings for Marvel go on for months, almost a year in advance. So, I just because we heard casting and now we're hearing this doesn't concern me. I would be more concerned if, by the end of the year we don't have a cast. But, you know, it does take a while for casting to begin. And I think especially with a project like this, it might take a little bit longer because you have to find people who have good chemistry together regarding the core 5 and eventually possible 6 Ranger. Depending on what they do and how many Ranger team they have. I had heard rumors of potential just being a 5-team set of Rangers. It could go that way, like Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder. Again, we don't know. We still haven't even been greenlit yet. But those are just those theories right now. I am still optimistic. Of course, I know there are people out there who are the true haters, and pretty much under every video regarding a reboot series, regarding anybody's channel, they'll write, "Oh, this is canceled, you're being delusional." Maybe very might could be, but I still believe this is happening until we hear from Hasbro or the showrunners themselves. I still remain as a 50-50, but I do lean a little bit more towards a 60% chance of it actually happening. So, where does that leave us now? Like I said, it hasn't been greenlit. They're most likely still working on scripts and probably trying to nail down a full team. I do think that I don't understand, I think there is an easy way to do this where, it's an easy adaptation of something. And maybe I'll do a whole different video about it in the future. But I do think there's an easy way where, the whole idea of why is it taking this so long could be fixed with just this one quick fix. However, will that happen? I do not know. We'll just have to wait and see. I think that if they want to get this off the ground running and stop delaying it so much, there's an easy way to go about doing that, and you should and I'll have a video out coming probably next week regarding that. But I am hoping that they can get this done by 2020, get this all pre-production going by end of the year. Again, if not, then we begin worrying. But as right now, I'm not worrying. And I don't think you should either. So, we'll just have to wait and see. If I don't see anything by D23. We could, depend on we could maybe by New York Comic Con, which is in October. It's just beginning August. If they get things going in the next month or two, we could be getting an official green light announcement at New York Comic Con. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, if we don't hear anything by the end of the year, then we start worrying. Because, we've had this going on now for a year in 2026. We had heard rumblings in 2025. And if we don't get anything by the end of 2026 and we go into 2027, then it's very worrisome. Because then it's 3 years since going on 3 years about this reboot series that's never happened. I also do believe, though, that they might be holding some things closer to the chest, given the fact that they burned the fans with the Jonathan Atwistle reboot series. They might be able to gun shy about announcing too much too soon, and then if it ends up being pulled the plug, then burn me once, blame on me, blame me, burn me twice, the saying. So if they don't, they might not want to get fans going and then have it canceled by just because. So that's what another thing that could be happening. But we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know all your thoughts, opinions about this news. Are you excited? Do you think that this will get greenlit by the end of the year? Do you think it's not? Are you going to be a negative and say, no, this is canceled? Are you more like me and staying optimistic? Are you in the middle, it could happen, it might not? But at the end of the day, you don't care? Let me know all that good stuff in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts, opinions regarding the recent news regarding the Power Rangers reboot series still being in active development over at Disney+. As always, if you're don't give big thumbs up and share, don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon to see more Power Rangers content from me moving forward, and go for me on Twitter linked best I can reach your channel. As always, I'm Vision Hero Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.